Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're going to be looking at spellcasting, and specifically, we're going to be looking at one of the primary spellcasters in the game, the Sorcerer. Sorcerers are often seen as one of the trickiest spellcasters to play, and the reason is because they have a limited number of spells known. By the time they reach their top levels, they only get to know 15 spells total. That is between all of their first through ninth level spells. So when you're building a sorcerer, you've got to pick what kind of sorcerer you're going to be. You have to choose your spells very, very carefully. And as you go through, you're going to be leaning into the fact that you can empower these spells with your meta magic, making them stronger as time goes on. But it still doesn't change the fact that choosing your spells wisely matters more as a sorcerer than anyone else. So I've made a top 5 list of first level spells that sorcerers can grab right from level 1, and I suggest looking into these as your primary picks. Starting off at number 5, we have Chromatic Orb. This is personally my favorite attack spell that sorcerers know at first level. You simply create a little orb of energy. You choose an elemental type, so fire, acid, cold, lightning, the normal stuff. And then you make a ranged spell attack, basically hurling this orb at a creature within 90 feet. If you hit, it does 3d8 of that elemental type, which is pretty powerful for a first level spell. It's one of the strongest, and getting to choose the type of element really, really helps when it comes to facing enemies with resistances. And overall, I just say it's a great pick. At number 4, we have a defensive choice, Mage Armor. Sorcerers don't get any armor proficiencies, so they are not wearing armor, not even leather armor. So their dexterity, their normal armor class is just 10 plus their dexterity modifier, which means even if you have a good dex, you're going to be looking at an AC of 12 or 13, which is pretty low, even, at the low levels. It's going to be relatively easy for enemies to hit you, which is why sorcerers are pretty squishy. Mage Armor helps with that. It creates a armor on you. It doesn't take concentration, you just cast it as an action, and for 8 hours you are protected by this Mage Armor. It gives you an AC of 13 plus your dex modifier. If you've got a decent dex, that means you can have an AC of 15 or 16, which is respectable. It actually means that you're not going to get hit as often. And that's important when you're a sorcerer who's rocking, 8 or 9 hit points. You don't want to go down. Mage Armor makes you able to take those stray hits. Then at number 3, we have arguably the mechanical best choice for attack spells, Magic Missile. This is the oldest and most classic attack spell in D&D. And you use Magic Missile, you cast it, and it creates 3 little darts. 3 darts of force energy. They do 1d4 plus 1 damage, so not a lot. 3, maybe 4 damage per dart on average. Here's the reason that's okay. These darts do not require an attack roll. You simply designate creatures, either 3 separate ones, or they can all focus on one creature if you want, and they just auto-hit. There is no roll involved. You've got a bunch of low-level minions, you can take 3 of them down with one spell. Just bam, bam, bam. No attack needed. It just hits them. It's really, really good. There are not very many spells that do guaranteed damage, and Magic Missile being a first-level spell that does that, money. But then we have the number 2 spell. A lot of people would say this is the number 1, but I think for a sorcerer who really doesn't want to get wrapped up in combat very often, I'd say it's number 2, and that's the Shield spell. The Shield spell is a reaction spell. You cast it when you're hit by an attack. Could be anything that targets your AC, a magical attack or a weapon attack. But if it's targeting your armor class, you can cast Shield, and as the spell takes effect, your AC gets bumped by 5. So, if you've got Mage Armor on, let's say you have a dex of 14, your AC is naturally 15 with Mage Armor on. Someone stray hits you with, an arrow, they roll an 18 to beat your AC, and you're like, crap, that's going to kill me. Cast Shield, now your AC is 20 and the arrow is blocked. No damage. And the shield actually lasts until the start of your next turn. So if this is the first attack to come your way, you don't have to cast shield multiple times. It just keeps your AC at 20 until the start of your next turn, and then it drops back down. So the simple fact that it keeps you safe for the rest of the round is a fantastic effect and is well worth a high spot. And I think any spellcaster should take shield. And the only reason it's not number one is because the number one pick, a lot of people have banned for being too powerful. Silvery Barbs. Sorcerers are charisma casters. They're charismatic. They have a lot of ability to persuade and operate outside of the outside of combat. And because of this, the ability to use Silvery Barbs comes in clutch a lot more often. When you use Silvery Barbs as a reaction, when a creature succeeds on a roll, attack, ability, saving throw, whatever, when you use Silvery Barbs, they have to roll again and then take the lowest roll. This means that you're just handing out disadvantage as a reaction. And it's not just in combat. It'd be great if it was just attacks and saving throws, and it would easily earn the number 2 spot, but it's the fact that it works on ability checks too. Insight checks, deception checks, anything that's social. You can cast Silvery Barbs and force the creature who you're trying to lie to, or who's lying to you, to have disadvantage. And then you designate another creature, which can be you, and they get advantage on their next ability, attack, or saving throw within the next minute. This means Silvery Barbs is simultaneously a buff and a debuff, and it works in and out of combat. For a first level reaction spell, wow. This spell easily takes the number 1 spot for the Sorcerer and is well worth any spellcaster checking out, but for the Sorcerer specifically, it is top tier. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more spellcasting reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.